All right, let's take a look at the crypto market now. We see the crypto market is still struggling for direction this morning. See Bitcoin there trying to clear that $50,000 resistance against the US dollar. Let's take a look at the market cap there. We see the market cap about $2.25 trillion. It's down about 0.55%. 24-hour volume traded in the total crypto market about $70.80 billion, down 4%. And Bitcoin dominance gaining back from that 39 level. We see price of Bitcoin about 49,000. Lost that, still trying to break that 50K. It's down 0.19%. 24-hour volume traded in Bitcoin, $22.99 billion. Let's look at Ethereum now. Ethereum lost that 4,000 mark. Wow. Top also market cap. You see BNB there is down 1.13%. Cardano down 3.15%. Solana down 2%. And the only green, surprisingly, is XRP. So up about 0.28% at 82 cents. And the top five gainers, we see RAV there leading that counter. Let's bring in Olumide Additional now, a financial market analyst. Hello, Olumide. Great to have you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Ladi.
Good morning, Olumide. I see this market is still struggling hard. We can't seem to get a direction. What's pushing sentiment right now in the market?
Yeah, I think investors are becoming very cautious. Yeah, we need to understand that this week is a super week where the U.S. Fed will make decisions about tapering the economy. We understand that inflation in the United States is already around 4-decade high. So there are concerns that now that inflation doesn't seem to be transitory, we are expecting the U.S. Apex Bank to show some form of taper. And that means that liquidity will somehow suffer in the crypto market. So we are seeing investors becoming very cautious. They won't want to get bonds. And also, we're seeing that the price around Bitcoin suggests that it's going to be very difficult for Bitcoin to break its record high, this 69,000, because we're seeing that during the weekend, because of the high liquidation we saw earlier in the past week, investors are not having a long bullish. The bullish bets seem to have weakened, and we're seeing that anytime Bitcoin tries to break above $50,000, the bears keep climbing on. So that tells you that the bullish narrative is not as strong as it was. Also, you also need to look at that the other market seems to be suffering better than was. Look at Dogecoin, for example, has refused to sell at 20 cents, telling you that the narrative is that investors are becoming very picky. They're seeing assets close to NFT, having NFT exposure gaining, and they're seeing assets that have inflationary and meme fundamentals suffer in this rally. But I think one thing is clear, that Bitcoin, Ethereum, they've had decent gains this year. They're becoming mainstream investment. But the concern is that with the fact that the U.S. Fed might increase interest rates the coming year, what it means is that the crypto market might not enjoy such bully ride that we saw this year in 2022.
Right, and we see Bitcoin, managed to recover, but most altcoins have been battered. What are your expectations for this week?
Yeah, my expectations are that, I don't see any strong bull grip on the crypto market, because I will expect the narrative of the US Fed to be affirmative, meaning that to be hawkish. So the dollar is going to gain ground. We've seen that in today's market. Dollar is gaining ground against major currencies. And the fact that Bitcoin is even moving around 49,000 means that the bulls are fighting their battles. But any break below 48 tells me that Bitcoin might really touch the 45,000. And if Bitcoin touches below 45,000, then I think I'm looking at below 40,000 this year. But I think for long-term investors, they will have had a very nice Christmas at the waiting, because we've seen record gains this year. But for short-term investors, I would advise that don't get too exposed and don't over-leverage yourself.
All right. We know the market is really struggling right now, but I'm sure there's some altcoins that are holding up above water. What are those altcoins for you?
Yeah, exactly. I mentioned earlier, coins, blockchains that have NFTs exposure. And, just because of I don't want investors to ride around, but you need to look at Solana relatively. Solana has done decent gains. Look at Tezos, you look at Argo, look at Cosmos, look at Polkadot. If you look at in the span of 6 months, just 6 months alone, this has given record gains. But you see, the fact that we are seeing the dollar and Bitcoin suffering, no matter how you want to paint it, the short term is that there will be pressure on these assets. But if you look at them relatively, the NFT exposure is giving them and more utility. We're seeing banks going on Ethereum, doing Ethereum contracts with bonds, instruments, and things like that. So we're seeing assets that have real case gaining ground. So I advise investors to really look at those assets with real use case value.
All right, Olumide, thank you so much. Really interesting times for risky assets. Thank you so much, Olumide.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Yeah.